Wholeness, beautiful beings, welcome to my channel. My name is Rashida Silvertree, and today's topic we're going to talk about jealousy and envy. And you are your own competition, okay? So with jealousy, envy, either we feel jealous or envious of someone else or another, or we feel that the other is jealous or envious of us, right? This is a very basic human experience. We've all felt jealous of someone, or we've all felt someone jealous of us. Okay, that stems from early childhood development. All right, when we're a kid, and let's say we have a toy we like to play with, and we see another kid playing with the toy. It's brand new and better than ours. It's a better version, better brand, more expensive, whatever, and it looks great. And we feel a sense of lack. There's a strong sense of lack, that there is something wrong within you, or something wrong with, and that it's almost like you, in the space of lack, we feel that we're unworthy. There's something broken within us, when we think or feel that we're not getting what we need, or that someone else is better equipped of receiving something we've always wanted, right? And so why would I mention you are your own competition? I remember being, I would say maybe 14, 15 years old, a teenager, and my mom is an educator. She's an awesome teacher. She's been in the teaching biz for, I think, well over 30 years now, or pushing 30 years. And she, one day we were driving home from school, and she mentions her kids. Like, she was teaching a group of kids that were, with teenagers, everything's competitive, down to how you smell, how you dress, how much money your parents have or lack thereof, how smart and intelligent you are. Teenage years are very, very difficult because of the hormonal changes that the body's going through. You're developing, your autonomy, really, your own identity. So it's a huge phase from, like, preteen, prepubescent, from like 11 to 19 or 20. It's a really big development during that part of your life. Anyway, in the car, she's like, oh, she had an issue with a group of kids in her class, and everyone was competing against the other, out of jealousy. And, oh, she's prettier than you. You think you're so pretty. Or, oh, you think you're so cool. You think you, just because you have those shoes or that hairstyle or that clothing, or, you have a little bit more money or whatever. It could be the most pettiest small thing. And so she asked her class this question. She said, who's your competition? And one of the young girls said, she is. She pointed to another teenage girl, and my mom said, nope, that's not who your competition is. And then she asked another student, she goes, who's your competition? He said, my mama. She was like, and that's an absolute no. And she asked one more time, she goes, who's your competition? And the teenager, the student said, me. Ding, 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 ding. Me. You are your own competition. And I didn't quite understand that. At the age of 15, at that time, I was in performance. I was a performance artist. I was learning how to sing. I was learning how to perform on stage with an instrument. I was very deep into that. But at the age of 15, you're insecure about everything, and you feel like you're lacking in everything. And it wasn't until I got into a music program in my undergrad and college where I remember that phrase because I'm not tooting my own horn, but in classical music, it's a very serious genre. It's very technical. It's either you hit the note or you don't hit the note. You know what I'm saying? You have to study technique. You have to study how a deliverance of very old music, okay, very sacred, beautiful art music passed down from the classical era, 50 or 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th century, okay? Very old music, but it's beautiful, and it was beautiful to me, and it called to me, it called to my heart. So I studied opera, and I studied with one coach, vocal professor, for a number, throughout my duration of my stay or my study at the university. And I think I only probably studied with one other vocal coach there at that university because she was on sabbatical. But anyway, back on point. And so I was a big fish in a small pond, meaning I was talented and I shined very brightly in this very small liberal arts private college, okay? And so I didn't have to face a lot of competition per se. However, and there were other talented, musicians there. It wasn't like I was just blowing everyone out of the water. But I will have to say, even with that, even with having my skill set a little bit more, I would say, advanced than most that attended at the time, I will say that it didn't stop that spirit of lack, if you will, jealousy or envy from other people. Now, yes, there were other powerful singers or vocalists, and I admired what they could do. But guess what I did? I minded my own business. I remembered what my mother said. She said, "You are your own competition. You have to create the standards. You have to create the expectations for yourself. You do not compare yourself to other people who are in the same boat as you." I mean, yeah, you want to listen to them. You want to be inspired. You want to, pick up things from your peers, especially at university. Because university is a time of a lot of growth as well, from 18 to 24, 25. Like it's a really big, huge leap when you're in the world of academia and you're trying to master a craft. That's why they call it a bachelor's degree. It's one degree of knowledge that you continue to master in your graduate studies, right? So did I face jealousy and envy from other peers at the time? Of course I did. And even in high school, of course I did. However, I did not let that, I developed a very strong tunnel vision because I guess it's the innate perfectionist in me, because in classical music, it's all about perfection. They can say whatever they want, but in the classical world, it is about perfection. It is about you bringing alive, you bringing life to very old music. Okay, that's literally played on repeat. Okay, all over the world, but it's so beautiful, and it's you have to use your unique craft, study the technique in such a way that you can deliver, right? And so I, as a performance major, I was very, very focused in on meeting the highest standard that I knew that I could make at the time that I was asked to make it. Meaning I really wanted to, I knew that I wasn't the biggest and the biggest and the baddest. Okay, I knew I had enough self-awareness at the time at 19 years old, 18, 19 years old as a fresh meat in college. I knew, I was like, you know what? I'm not the biggest or the baddest, but I want to be the biggest and the baddest of what I can produce in this study of voice, right? When we mind our own business and we focus on our game, we focus in on the play, we focus in on the story, our own story, it really minimizes a lot of the external dialogue, if you will. When you play into the spirit of lack coming from other people, especially when it's a group of people that are in the spirit of lack, as known as jealousy or envy, it could be very toxic. You feel like you're an intruder. You feel like you're an imposter. Like, do I really belong here? You know what I'm saying? But you do. You do. And and I use education and performance because the arts it's a very cutthroat industry. You can be talented, but there's no promise. It's really all about luck, networking, um, nepotism, and nepotism, but but a lot of networking and luck and destiny because you can be as talented as all get out and drive and ambition. There's a lot that goes into trying to break into the industry through performance alone. Okay, many artists have many other plethoras of different talents as well. Um, but that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Um, because again, when you're facing competition, external competition, you want to, you have an innate feeling of I need to make myself feel small and I need to dim my light so that this other person can shine bright or brighter. And that's one thing, especially to younger people, or not, it's not even an age thing really, because jealousy is all over the board. I mean, I know older people, like my parents' age, and, good friends of mine, and like they still deal with it in their own peer group, people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, jealous of one another. So it's not necessarily about age, it's about the level of maturity. So that's what I really wanted to just as a reminder, or for those of you that are struggle with it, focus on your game, meaning focus on your plan. If guess what, if you're jealous of someone's career, look at your own career. What can you do to make things happen? And another thing, with the spirit of lack, there's a spirit of limitation. Like you somehow can't develop the skill set to get to where you need to get to. Like there's a limit. It's very, very toxic and very dark, especially when you start sharing, the jealousy with other people. And then you guys, a group of people all of a sudden are on this frequency in this space, right? It could get very dark. If you're feeling people are envious of you or jealous of you in any shape, way, or form, especially if you're empathic, my empaths out there, we feel everything. Okay, all right. Someone can smile in your face, and you know how they're feeling. Okay, um, I can tell by tone alone, tone of voice. I don't know what it is. Maybe because I studied voice. I don't know, but I can tell a lot about a person when they're speaking to me through their tone of voice. You could pick up a lot of information, and usually you can tell with jealousy and envy when there's a lack of support, where it's natural to show support for someone. There's a lack of it, and it's coming from someone you know or someone you have a rapport with. It's odd. It's a very like, okay, why wouldn't they congratulate? Why, you ask yourself these questions internally because you don't want to come off as a arrogant doofus. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to pinpoint. You are your own competition, and when you can meet your own personal goals, when you can meet your personal best, it is very rewarding because anybody can say anything. Okay? Anybody could say, oh, she sounds like crap, or what she's bringing to the table isn't good enough. If you know and you strategize and you make a plan, because I had it was very, as an artist, as a vocalist, a vocal student at the time, I had to actually set up my own practice time. There's a recommended time that you're supposed to practice your music. When you're in school, they give you, like you have what they call, oh my God, it was judge recitals. What would we call it? I can't remember. It's okay. But at the end of every semester, you had a selection of songs that you were to master. You should know them like the back of your hand, okay? And for every month and every week, you would meet up with your instructor, your teacher, but you meet once a week or maybe twice, but usually once a week. But you had all that time to be on your own, yet and take initiative and master your craft and make the time to practice your music. So I was practicing all the time. I lived it. I breathed it. I ate it. It became me. And that is what art is. It's beingness flowing through you. So it's very rewarding when you are able to meet your own personal standard that you set for yourself, because it's awesome when you can meet someone else's standard or expectation. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh great, yeah, like you set that goal for me and I met it, great. But it's a whole nother thing when you can meet your own expectation, your own standard for yourself. Because then you're like, yes, I've accomplished this. And it's very fulfilling. So when you meet those naysayers or people that are like giving you, like looking down on you or making you, trying to force you to just dim your light, right? Because they don't believe in themselves enough. Or they don't believe that they can do it. They don't believe they have the resources like you. They don't want to do the work, right? So they want to make you feel small. And so, no. You don't have to. You don't have to make yourself feel small. Okay? This is all about, really developing confidence in yourself. And, which I'm going to make more videos on, but developing confidence in yourself. And for my spiritualists and metaphysicists out there, that solar plexus is very, very, it plays a huge role, right? That willpower, that initiative, that drive, that ambition to complete, to succeed, to complete something. And it has nothing to do with anyone else. Like that I think is what made my career, I guess, and my time at university successful in some ways. Other ways I was very unsuccessful, but in performance, I would say I was successful because I didn't make my music, I didn't make what I was doing about other people. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't live up to their, like, how do I say this? I made sure that I was doing it for me and for the audience, because they have to hear it. It's almost like with a business. You do it for your clients, for your clientele. For healthcare, you do it for your patient. For teaching, you do it for your student. There's something that it was bigger than me and not just the ego boost. Oh, yay! The great applause. That's awesome. But you're creating and packaging something that you're going to deliver. That is what I find so enticing about this topic, is being your own competition. Don't worry about the other people. They don't matter really. If anything, if someone's looking, they're jealous of you, and typically that's just, that's saying you're doing something right. You're doing something really, really good, and don't stop. Okay? And if you find yourself feeling jealous of another person, get on your game. All right? Like, focus on you. Focus on you. Anytime you feel like, oh, they have look at where they live, or, oh, look at their job, oh, look at their career, or look at their kids, or look how free they are, oh, look how wealthy, oh. No, stop it. That's victimhood. Stop. And guess what? The digital virtual world, these social media platforms, I don't even know where to begin with that. Stop. Focus on your game plan. Focus on your role in your life. Focus on your circle. Stop focusing on other people's inner circles. Focus on your circle. What's happening in your household? Okay? That's how you can cure your problem with feeling jealous of other people. Because to me, jealousy from coming from others, it's confirmation. I'm doing something right and I will continue. And if I feel jealous of someone else, then that means something in my household, somewhere in my temple, somewhere in my person, in my consciousness, my heart feels inadequate. And I need to work on that. That has nothing to do with anyone else. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you again shortly. Bye.